Tonight, like every night, you will close your eyes, and you will go somewhere. You will become someone. You will live through events that feel completely, absolutely real. You will feel fear, love, falling, flying. And then, in the morning, almost all of it will be gone, erased before you finish your coffee. This happens to you every single night of your life, and science still cannot fully explain why. Across a lifetime, you will spend around 6 years of it dreaming. 6 years living inside a world that does not exist, built entirely by your own mind. No one taught you how to do it. You cannot choose to stop. Every human being who has ever lived has done the same thing. And for almost all of history, we had no idea what was actually happening inside that sleeping head. The question is older than civilization. Are dreams random noise, or are they trying to tell you something? To answer that, you first have to understand what a dream actually is. And the truth is stranger than the myths, because what we have learned in the last 70 years would have sounded like sorcery to every generation before us. For thousands of years, we assumed sleep was simply nothing, a small death. The body switched off until morning. Then, in 1953, two researchers in Chicago attached electrodes to sleeping volunteers and saw something impossible. At certain moments, beneath closed eyelids, the eyes were darting back and forth, rapidly, frantically, as if watching something. They called it rapid eye movement, sleep, REM. And what they found next changed everything. When they looked at the sleeper's brain during these moments, it was not switched off at all. It was blazing, almost as active as a brain that is wide awake. The body lay still and silent, but inside the skull, a storm of activity was unfolding. The person was not resting. The person was somewhere else entirely, living through something the rest of us could not see. This was the dreaming brain, caught for the first time. But there was a darker detail. During this dreaming stage, your body becomes paralyzed. Almost every muscle is switched off, held down by the brain. You cannot move. And this is not a flaw, it is protection. Your brain paralyzes you so that you do not physically act out your dreams, so that you do not stand up and run, or fight, or leap, while your mind believes you are somewhere far away. Sometimes the system fails. Sometimes the mind wakes before the body does, and you find yourself conscious but completely frozen, unable to move or speak, often sensing a presence in the room. For centuries, people gave this terror a name in every culture, a demon that sits on your chest in the dark. Today, we call it sleep paralysis. It is the moment the curtain between the two worlds slips, and you see the machinery underneath. For 100 years, dream science was trapped by one impossible problem. You can only describe a dream after you wake up, and by then it is already fading, rewritten, distorted by the waking mind. Studying dreams was like trying to study a country you could only hear about from travelers who had forgotten the journey. To truly understand a dream, you would have to speak to someone while they were still inside one. That sounded impossible. Then scientists found a door. A small number of people can do something extraordinary. They can realize in the middle of a dream that they are dreaming. Without waking up, they become aware. This is called lucid dreaming. And because the eyes are not paralyzed during REM sleep, these dreamers could do something no one else could. They could send a signal, moving their eyes in a deliberate, agreed pattern, from inside the dream, out into the waking world. In 2021, 4 separate teams of scientists across 4 countries decided to push this further than anyone had dared. They wired up sleeping volunteers and waited for them to enter a lucid dream. And then, while these people slept and dreamed, the scientists spoke to them out loud. They asked them questions. They even gave them simple math problems. 8 minus 6. And they waited to see if anyone would answer. The answers came back. From inside the dream, the sleepers moved their eyes. Twice, then once, solving the problems correctly, in real time, while fast asleep. One man, dreaming he was at a party, heard the scientist's voice come through like it was part of his dream, and answered. A conversation was happening across the boundary of consciousness itself. There was someone in there, awake, thinking, and now reachable. Sit with what that means. The dreaming mind can hear you. It can understand language, hold a number in memory, do arithmetic and reply, all while the body lies paralyzed and the person, on waking, may remember none of it. The dreamer is not gone. The dreamer is a second mind, living a second life, a few centimeters behind your eyes. So if there is a mind awake inside the dream, the old question returns with new weight. Can a dream actually tell you something? Something you did not already know? The strange answer, written across the history of science and art, is yes. Again and again, people have walked into a dream stuck on a problem and walked out holding the solution, as if the sleeping mind had solved what the waking mind could not. In the 1860s, a German chemist named Kekulé was obsessed with a question no one could crack: the shape of a molecule called benzene. One night, dozing by his fire, he dreamed of atoms dancing, twisting into long chains. Then, the story goes, one of the chains curled around and seized its own tail, like a snake eating itself. He woke with a jolt. The answer was a ring. That dream helped reshape the whole of modern chemistry. Decades later, another scientist, Otto Loewi, had spent 17 years stuck on a theory he could not prove: that nerves speak to each other using chemicals. One night, he dreamed the exact experiment that would prove it. He scribbled it down, half asleep, and in the morning could not read his own writing. The next night, mercifully, the dream returned. This time he ran straight to his laboratory. That dream won him the Nobel Prize. It is not only science. A 19-year-old named Mary Shelley had a waking nightmare of a corpse stirring to life and wrote Frankenstein. A musician named Paul McCartney woke with a complete melody already playing in his head. So perfect, he was sure he must have stolen it from someone else. He had not. The song was yesterday. The dreaming mind, it seems, is not just replaying the day. Sometimes it is creating. Which brings us finally to the real question. If dreams can solve, create, and speak, what are they for? Why does the brain build these worlds at all? Here, science splits into rival camps, each with a different answer, and none of them can prove it is the only one. This is the strange truth at the center of the subject. We can now talk to dreamers, and we still do not agree on why they dream. The oldest modern answer came from Sigmund Freud. He believed that dreams were disguised wishes, the buried desires of the unconscious mind, sneaking past our defenses while we slept. Every dream, he argued, was a messaging code, hiding what we truly wanted but could not admit. For decades, this idea ruled. Most scientists today think Freud was largely wrong, but he was the first to insist that dreams meant something. Then came the opposite answer. In the 1970s, researchers proposed that dreams might mean nothing at all. During sleep, the brainstem fires off bursts of random signals, and the higher brain, desperate to make sense of chaos, weaves them into a story. By this theory, a dream is just your mind improvising a narrative over noise. The brain's attempt to find meaning where there is none. A story told to no one. But the brain rarely does anything for no reason. So other theories see a hidden purpose. One says dreams are a rehearsal, a safe simulation of threats and dangers, training you to survive things you have not yet faced. Another says they are about memory, that as you sleep, the brain replays the day, deciding what to keep and what to discard, filing your life away. In this view, dreaming is how you become who you are. And there is a gentler theory, perhaps the most haunting of all, that dreaming is a kind of overnight therapy, that when you dream, the brain takes the painful memories of the day and slowly strips away their emotional sting, keeping the lesson but softening the wound. By this idea, dreams are how the mind heals itself in the dark, so that you can wake and carry your grief a little more lightly than the night before. And yet, for all of this, there is one final mystery that none of the theories fully explain. You forget almost everything. Within minutes of waking, around 95% of your dream is gone. Dissolved, unrecoverable, as if it was never meant for you to keep. The brain spends a third of your sleep building these vast, vivid worlds, and then it deletes them, almost instantly, night after night after night. Why would the mind create something so elaborate, only to erase it? We do not know. Perhaps the dream was never the point. Perhaps it is only the side effect of some deeper work. The sweeping up after the brain has done whatever it really came to do in the dark. The dream may be the dust, not the building. But here is where it turns truly strange. Every single night, your mind builds a complete reality. People, places, conversations, a sky, a sense of time passing. And while you are inside it, you believe it without question. You do not notice it is a fabrication. You only realize it was unreal when you wake into this world. Which raises a quiet, uncomfortable question that has no easy answer. If your mind can construct an entire convincing universe every night, one you cannot tell from reality while you are in it, then how certain are you, really, about the one you are in right now? The dreamer never doubts the dream, until, suddenly, they wake. Philosophers have circled this question for thousands of years, and no one has ever closed it. Maybe that is what dreams are truly telling you, not a hidden message about your future, not a secret wishing code, something simpler and far larger, that your mind is not a passive window onto the world. It is a machine that builds worlds, every night, effortlessly, whether you ask it to or not. The same machine that paints your dreams is the one painting this, right now, for you. So tonight, when you close your eyes and the world dissolves and you slip somewhere else, pay attention if you can. Because for a few hours, in the dark, you will become the most powerful thing we know of in the universe. A mind, alone, creating everything it sees, and then gently forgetting it all by morning.